Hello, everybody. Pardon me, I'm in my night clothes. A few minutes ago, I posted a link to a mini bed that I'm making that is really cool because it has a headboard and little inserts in it. And so Sanaya was down here with me, but I think she got bored. So I figured I'd come on and, hey, Cray, your baby is gorgeous, by the way. I saw a picture of her online this morning, and she is really beautiful. She also looks a little mischievous. So if you're interested in miniatures, and like I said, my end goal here is ways, I always look for ways to put my magic with what I'm doing for my hobbies too, because I gotta fund my hobbies, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm using what they call a mini miter box. And what this does is it allows you to take itty bitty pieces of wood and cut them correctly and in straight lines. And I like that because you don't want shit to be lopsided. I also have this really cool tool here that allows you to cut strip wood on perfect angles. What I found out the hard way this morning about this particular tool, which is only like 25 bucks, is that it doesn't cut all the way through well with really thicker pieces of wood. And 1/4 inch and inch, I think, are probably as thick as you're going to get in some of this craft wood. So there are, hey, and Danielle, I'm thinking about applying some of these things that I've learned to when I get a tiny home. So behind me, you'll see a couple of my creations. I made a bookcase that has a door, and I don't know if you can, let me turn this so you can see it. It's a IKEA bookcase that I put on hinges to create a trap door, or what, not trap door, a secret door between my room and the others. Those are flowers for flower crowns. Never mind my space. I need a whole studio. I would move downstairs to the basement, but I like being in the basement. It's nice. It's pretty. So here's the dollhouse that I built. And I don't know if I can lean all the way back so you guys can see it. I built that from a box. Literally. When I got it, I'm dropping my T-square. Uh-oh, hold on. Well, wait a minute. Now, T-squares are really important. When I actually used a gigantic one on the floors of this dollhouse because I wanted it to look like wood. So I put the T-square down. I used an owl to score the floor. I also picked up some really cool shit. The bookcase, they're 59 bucks a piece at IKEA. I put handles on either side. The phone's acting like I'm trying to rotate it. Let me turn it around. Handles on either side so it could be pulled. I also painted the backs with chalkboard paint so we have to order herbs, roots, and stuff. And so it completely conceals the root room. There's videos about this. Yes, I didn't necessarily build it from scratch. Now, I built it from the pieces. And there's a difference there. You know, some people design their own dollhouses, but most of them, and I'll turn the camera around again, come in kits like this. It's a box. My box, of course, was way, way, way bigger. So I like tiny, tiny houses. So this is the box that Sanaya, she has like a 1-bedroom little cottage we bought her last week. And at the mini show, they come flat. So they come flat with all of the pieces that you need. Except, okay, the shingles, I had to buy those separately. Luckily enough with hers, they come in the kit. But those were hand-dyed, and each one of those was laid on individually. I mean, seriously, people... because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about this bed that I'm making. And I posted the link earlier. It's a queen size mini bed. So this is the first part of the headboard. And right now what I'm doing is I'm cutting a series of little squares that are going to go into the headboard. If you can measure and you can read the kits, man, let me tell you something. Let's just put it this way when we're talking about the expenses of minis, which is another reason why I kind of want to get this into my practice because it ain't cheap. The kit itself was almost $400. After, I think I stopped counting at about $2,000 because, paint. Now, what's really cool is I was able to repurpose stuff that I already have. So a lot of the colors that are in my house are going to go on the walls of this dollhouse. I even wired it for lights. The wiring kit, I think, was like $200. So yeah, it's strip lighting with, I think, copper and something else. And there's a little box on the back of it that you plug in. And I've tested it. I've moved the house once. I moved it in my car. I would not let the movers take it. And don't ask me what I'm going to do with it when I pare down or retire, but it's definitely something for my kids. My oldest daughter says I'm going to start talking to her through the root room in the dollhouse. I've done some tours of it. I'll do more. Yes, Tiffany. Oh man, Tiff, we got to go to the hood. I got to introduce Rakia to that fish spot. So anyways, Sanaya's here with all of her beautiful hair all over her head. Say hi, Sanaya.
Hi.
And Sanaya got bored and left me. Now she's here. Well, she heard her sister crying. She went to go see it. True. So yes, dollhouse. Yes, I love building dollhouses because, and I'll tell you why, which is really kind of, it was kind of a sad reason why I decided that I was going to do this dollhouse in the way that I was. I'd lost my condo in 2009, and I just thought, I am never buying another house. But I love to decorate. What I've also found out about real size houses is they take some real size effort. And so I've been tied up with the house. I put this house down for 2 years, so much to the point where my daughter, my youngest daughter, who I actually bought this for, got tired of it. My grandmother and I built one when I was a small child. And my grandparents were retired, and my mom wasn't really sending any money. And so my grandmother and them didn't have a lot of money. So my grandmother made me a dollhouse out of cardboard, hard cardboard box, which is a kid's best friend to play with. And she made, she took brick looking contact paper and she covered it. Yes, so Melissa said hi, Sanaya.
Hi.
Yes, Soren's buddy and pal. So, yeah, we got to comb that hair. How did your hair get out the ponytail? Did you take it down?
No.
You just all free, just free to be me. So my grandmother took this cardboard box, and yeah, I've seen your spot. I've seen pictures, and Danya, and wow, I saw the pictures that you posted. If that is your house, you are amazing. You know, I can't decorate the way I want simply because I've got everything here, you know, like my store, my house. When I moved into this joint, y'all, this was a gift from the spirits, especially Ogu and St. Jude. And I don't follow Christian saints. I believe in, you know, energies of hopeless cases. They got this house from me. And it was like an impossible dream. And I have been working on this house for years, since we've been here, but I want to, yeah, your house needs to be in a magazine. If those pictures that I saw are your crib, woo. Well, we let her hair flow, but we do keep it unknotted and unmangled, and clean. Cause ain't nothing about nappy got to be dirty or tangled. It's just beautiful nappy. So this is what they call, I've had to figure out a lot of this stuff on my own by watching a lot of YouTube videos. It's the same thing I did when I became a professional photographer. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. The only place I don't suggest getting a lot of advice about on YouTube is Conjure, because these folks is kind of special out there. It was hilarious. I was looking for a video about mojo bags. I was teaching mojo bags at the Detroit Conjure Fest, not this past year, but the year before that. And I kept going through them. And then when we came to one I liked, I realized it was mine. That happened when I was doing something for work too. But anyways, this minder box has these little black pegs, and it holds down the teeniest pieces of wood. And so I have to saw 4 1-inch blocks for each little geometrical square. So if you're wondering what I'm doing and making noise and shaking the table, you can go look on my page and see the picture. And so therefore we got this. Now I'm not going to worry about this part here. It doesn't peel off. They have to print the price on sometimes. But I'm painting it, so, and I'll put this on the back, but you can just kind of scrub off the SKU number with a little piece of sandpaper, you know, a little bit. Wait till you see Melissa. I post a link to your business, your Instagram. Melissa and her husband have a 3D printer and have made me some amazing things, and they're going to make me a spiral staircase. So I'm actually, I don't feel like opening this house right now, but I'm replacing the stairs that came with it with a spiral staircase, and then they didn't put a hole in the top floor, so I bought a, they used it for a miniature garage. Girl, will you stop? You just singing. I'm trying to talk. That's not nice. I don't sing when you're trying to talk.
I'm not singing my song.
Well, go sing your song upstairs or in another room, and then come back when you don't want to sing no more. You can sing, but just not while I'm on my video. So anyways, and so right now I'm waiting for this to dry. Perfect clamps for miniatures is binder clips. And look, I found rainbow binder clips at Target. So I was teaching Mojo Bags, like I said, and you know, I couldn't find a video that I liked. So, you know, so this is just a word to the wise about, but man, when it comes to crafting and stuff, and this is like the exact type of furniture aesthetic that I want to create. Oh yes, there are black people selling stuff with a 3D printer, and they are kick-ass. They made me an Eames set. Okay, now y'all gonna make me open this damn dollhouse, and I got on my pajamas, so you can have to look at my booty, and I don't care. So let me show you some of the stuff they made me. And there, Melissa, please post a link to your website. See, I have everything in here because I'm making kitchen curtains later on today. So I have my material for my curtains here, sitting next to my dollhouse. And if I had a little bit of time, I'd probably be a lot more organized. But this is the inside of the house. This is an example of what they made me with their 3D printer. They made me the most amazing bathtub. And I'm going to put jets in the bathtub by putting little, what do you call those? Not bolts. Nuts inside, itty bitty, or washers to resemble jets. Okay, and I'm probably gonna sand this part down and create the faucet with wire. So I also have this completely, and I'll turn this around so you guys can see. I have this completely wired for lights. You couldn't see it the last time, but if you look here, you'll see these strips, and those that's wiring. So that's actually where I have literal plugs that you plug in the lights. So last weekend I was able to pick up some really cheap stuff and inexpensive at the dollhouse show. So there's the nursery stuff, and that's where the nursery is going to be. And then here is the little girl's bedroom. But for my bedroom, I couldn't find what I wanted. I'm going to be replacing these stairs with a spiral 3D printed staircase that goes through the first 2 floors. And then there is a trap door that, I don't know, we didn't put in here. And then this is my little stainless steel set for the kitchen. And what I love about minis that are made well is I don't believe in minis where you cannot open doors. This is the dishwasher. So the stuff fully comes out. I'm going to be making a faux subway tile marble backsplash, and I'll probably take that up the wall. I finally found subway tile for my dollhouse, and then I have octagon tile for one of the bathrooms. So there's actually going to be a bathroom here on the other side of the stairs, but then you can then enter through to get like a Jack and Jill to get to the baby's room. So the master bedroom's up here, and then up here is going to be a completely different aesthetic of old school stuff, and this is going to be my my root room up at the top, and there's going to be a trap ladder. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can pull some of this stuff down. Here, hold on just a minute. So I'm gonna have y'all look at me while I'm pulling this stuff down. Now, I'll show you a couple of things. But this is going to be, the entire area up here is going to be the root room. So we're going to pull these things out. I'm supposed to be cutting pieces for this bed. I'm waiting for another piece of it to dry. Oh yeah, that's polymer clay. That's another thing that I do. And that was where I originally thought I was going to make money doing minis, making miniature food, miniature soul food, because nobody makes that. You know, fried chicken, chitlins, you know, sweet potato pie. I have a website called, I have a Facebook page called Trini's Minis. which I may start. There are a number of printables. I was considering using this herringbone for the backsplash that you can get on Etsy that is scaled right for doll houses. And I was considering, but I just couldn't get my printer to color it using this octagon. This is printable vinyl, and Silhouette makes it, but I found real octagon tile, so I'm actually going to try to paint it and see if I can get a marbleized effect. But this is another thing Melissa made for the root room. So it's a grimoire with a snake coming out of it. So you'll sand this, you'll paint this, whatever color you want, to get it to look realistic. So that's another thing she made for the root room. I find things at garage sales too, and this is one of my favorites. The room is red though, so I'm still trying to decide whether or not to paint the quote-unquote upholstery for the chair. But if you look, there's so much detail here in this chair, and I'm gonna need to see who makes this. It's underneath the bottom. Yes, Ashley, hold on, let me get you a book that you need to get. I actually am Facebook friends with this woman on my old mundane profile. Hold on, let me see if I can find this book for you. It's a book for making food, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Oh, here's one of them. Yes, here. Oh, here we go. This woman is like the Bible of miniature food. Her name is Angie Scar. We're Facebook friends on my Monday profile. This one right here, Miniature Food Masterclass. Get this book. Let's start with this book. And then, you know, the fake food at some of the food shows is ugly, and some of it's really cool, you know, but it, you know, and then there's this a fruit stall. She has like color codes for if you're using Fimo polymer clay to kind of get the colors real to life. I think that one of the problems that we face with the miniature shows is that a lot of that stuff is not handmade. A lot of it's machine made. So Melissa has created, and I don't know how, I've got to find really thin wire to go in between the chair and the table legs. But these need to be sanded and painted. But she made me an Eames miniature set for my table for my kitchen. She also made me miniature doll picture frames. I'm going to put my own photography in these frames and sell them, hopefully. So, and then you can find really cool stuff at the craft store, like little, like, these are like the equivalent of huge wall signs like you would put up in your house, but they're miniature, so you can do that. So that's what I'm going to do with that, and I just wanted to show you guys what she made me. She also made me bookcases to match the ones I have here. How cool is that? Isn't that awesome? So if I wanted to do that same secret doorway thing with this, I could do this with miniature hinges, but I'm not doing that because I'm going to open floor plan the bottom. Okay, so coming back here to my area, and I'm gonna leave the dollhouse open so that I can put stuff back in. This is how you wire a dollhouse. You use this tape, okay, and it has a transformer that plugs in, and look, it's got little outlets and plugs, okay. I hear my daughter asking my granddaughter, did she poop? And so I've got a lot of this extra tape. It even came with a couple of lamps, and I'm probably put this one upstairs. I think this is designed to hang from the ceiling. I'm not sure, but I bought some other LEDs as well. And then this is the transformer that plugs to the plug in the back, and you can light up the whole dollhouse. Now, of course, if you want certain rooms lit and other rooms not lit, then of course you would have to put them on different transformers, and that's just too extra for me. So I put the lights in the dollhouse years ago, and I'm going to test them probably again today before I get to painting these walls, because if there's a piece that's not working anymore, I'm going to have to replace it, and then I'd have to repaint. We don't want to do all of that. So yeah, so I'm making this bed. So it's got little geometric. So this is the headboard, and it's got little geometric pieces that you put in, and then you put these other little pieces in. It's simple as cutting 1 inch, 3.5 inch. It's not hard. It's fun. It also keeps me from killing people. It helps me stay a bit sane. A bit, anyways. So, but Sanaya had abandoned me, so I decided that I was going to come on here and talk to y'all, because she was down here and she was asking a lot of questions, and she's pretty excited about us doing her dollhouse. And it was funny because the gentleman who sold us the dollhouse, not to mention he was hitting on my daughter ridiculously, the gentleman who sold us the dollhouse was trying to convince us to leave the baby's house plain. Because, kids mess things up. And what I'm doing is I've got my head down because I'm measuring out more pieces for cutting. But he was trying to convince us to keep the baby's dollhouse plain. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to do that. Because, kids like to draw and stuff like that. But I'm like, how are you ever going to train a little kid about what's, delicate and precious if you don't train them, not to write on walls, not to color on things. So I found that to be really stupid of him to suggest. She wants a pink bed. Nana's going to give her a pink bed. So, and part of this process is finding things that work versus what doesn't work, and what I found with this was that my tool that I thought was going to make snip, 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 snip so great doesn't work on 1/4 inch wood. But I'm also not a big fan of wasting things, so I'm just going to turn that around and put the part that didn't look quite right on the back. And then know better for next time in case somebody commissions me to make a dollhouse bed for them. So I have put my little wood in my miter box. Miter boxes ensure that you cut really good angles. And I'm sorry, I'm sawing, so it's going to make some really probably irritating noise. Blow it, make sure that it's completely cut. Pull it out, sand it. Right. So you learn how to respect what's delicate. I did these doors. I don't know if you guys have seen, and I don't know if you can see them, but I'll try to show you. And I've got to put this other piece back in, but I made stained glass windows for the front of the house. Once again, printable vinyl. So just like root work, you have to think outside the box when you want to create things in miniature. But I came down here one day and I'd had to paint these silver because they were originally gold, and as you see I have to retouch that, and one of these kids had messed up my door, so now I have to repaint because I had to re-glue with the knobs on the door, which pissed me off. So I'm gonna have to touch that up. But that's part of kids not being trained about what should be touched and what shouldn't be touched. Because you messing with my miniatures, I will fight you. So, you got to teach kids. You got to teach kids, don't touch it, and you go in some people's house and their kids have beat the brakes off that house. And it's like, no home training. So actually, being creative and creating beautiful and delicate items does a couple of things for you as a human being. I find that people are less depressed when they are active and creating. So, one of my cures for anxiety and depression was make something. And I realized when I got up today, I have been working really hard and I am really tired. So I said, you know what? I'm not working today. I'm going to make dollhouse miniatures, and that's what I'm doing. So the whole idea here is to, I like to make sure my stuff looks professional. I've seen a lot of dollhouse stuff like we were talking about with the food, and it just don't look right. Part of that is just a real nice attention to detail. When you mess something up or you see a piece of wood is chipped, put it in the bag. Or put it on the side where it can't be seen. But just finish off things like sanding and just making sure things are finished nicely. Because like this here is just a little bit off. Don't know how much that's going to make a difference, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand that edge just a bit. to make sure that it's not sticking out. We'll see how that works. I might have to cut that again because it's not exactly. I probably need to purchase what they call a jig that will help make things right. Yeah, crafting is therapy. Making things with your hand, root work is therapy. Another thing that I find is that controlling glue bottles is a pain in the ass. So what I'm actually going to do is close this glue bottle and take the part that came off the end and actually just use a brush for the glue, just like right up out of the top. What you'll find is when you buy miniature supplies, is that it will stay, they will stay, you will be able to keep a lot of this stuff for a very long time because you're only using a very little amount of it. And so I don't want to put too much glue on these because what will happen is the glue will ooze out the edges and it won't make for a very attractive model, if you will. That's, you know, people consider this to be a form of model making, which is fine. And I probably should have been an interior designer or an architect. And I probably was in a past life. But since I am not now, I am just going to take this and live. Now, this don't even look right, y'all. Oh, you know what? That's because that's not the right one. I'm like, that was one of the short ones, I think. Or we got a problem here, one or the other, because they're all supposed to be the same size. We're about to find out, right? No, I think this is a leftover, which is fine. So we'll put this one back on because this stuff is supposed to be symmetrical. So I'm actually making 3 of these. And those are going to be inside of the bed frame, right? I stopped with the bed frame because sorry about that. That's my alarm to light my altars because I'm absent-minded as hell. So I'm going to make sure that these are exact and then line them up. A cutting mat is always a good idea. I don't know if you guys can see that, but like a fabric cutting mat is always a good idea because it's got squares all over it. And you can just lay it down and everything. You can lay it down and everything will be just so. You know, you put it in, and they're 1-inch squares, which is perfect for me because I do 1-inch modeling. So probably going to need a little bit more glue on this. Like I said, in my efforts to over glue, sometimes the stuff, not to over glue, sometimes the stuff doesn't stay glued. But it's okay because I'll just put some more on. I would rather, now see, that's not even right. That's not the right size. So, is that the right size? Let's see. Yes, that's the right size. So that's going to need some more glue. That's another thing. Throw out your extras or put them to the side where you can't get to them. I threw it on the floor. I may actually need that later. So I'm not going to throw it in the garbage. You know, you can make things out of extras. Like I could actually make probably little building blocks for the kids to play with in the dollhouse with that. So I tried making them out of these alphabet beads, which are really cool, but I got to find a way to seal them up. So now I've made my next triangle. I mean, not triangle, rectangle. Learn your shapes, Liz. Learn your shapes. So I've made the next rectangle for the bed. I'm going to straighten it out, make sure all parts come to the edge, make it look nice, and line it up on a square to make sure that it's right and doesn't look, you know, homemade. That one's it's just a little off, but you know what? For the first time making this bed is fine. And when if I don't like it, that's the joy of having nieces and grandchildren, because they will take it and they will love it if it's not exact. But when you're selling things to people, you do. And that's the thing, I take a lot of pride in what I make for my business, as well as what I make for, you know, anything I'm selling or making for commercial use. That it is nice, that it looks good. You know, you don't want shit being all raggedy when you're spending your money. And that's why I pay really close attention to my packaging. I pay, hey, Sato, you have the same birthday as my mother. So happy birthday coming up. So that's why I make sure that when I'm making stuff for anybody, for anything, like I had one of my students over here helping us package things, and I will be damned if she didn't have that fragile label crooked on my, the tape that I wrap around my boxes. And I'm like, no, come on, don't do that. When I see somebody, when I buy something that's handmade from somebody and I see that it's been wrapped with care, that's really important to me. And so I do things that are important for me, for my customers. So that one's a little bit off. Now I can see how it gets to be a little bit off. And so you got to make sure that you've got the wood lined up in the miter box correctly, or your stuff is going to be ever a fraction of an inch off. And see, a fraction of an inch in a miniature is huge. I don't know if you've ever done anything in your house and you've been off by an inch or two. A fraction of an inch in a miniature is, and that's what makes it complex. And that's what makes it, I'm sawing right now, so you guys have to forgive me. All right. Now see if that falls right out, and it did. So we're going to make sure that these are the same length. See, this one's not the same length. I don't even know where this one came from. It's probably the last part of the end. And so I'm making 3 of these, so I have to cut out 3 more of these squares. So I'm just measuring and cutting. And it's just so hard to make sure stuff's not on a gangster lane and, and straight. But like I said, miter boxes, if you've got your mark, anywhere in the area, the miter box will help you make sure that it stays straight. It will hold the wood down. And that's even for big projects. I have a big miter box in my garage. I also have like the miniature version of a mitering saw. And one of these days, I hope to get a mitering saw. But, so part of what I'm doing with my business is I'm hoping to make room boxes with altars and occult stuff in them for you guys, because they have them at the miniature shows. But once again, it's kind of like when you see something and you wish it was made for black folks because it ain't quite right. Well, I wish they'd made these occult boxes for occultists. Some of them you can tell they have, and some of them you can tell they have not. Eye of Newt and shit like that. I'm like, no, how about we put some real herbs in the containers and put some really cool labeling on it. So I've been buying labeling and different things and in miniature. And so when I make my room boxes, the little jars that will have stuff in them will actually have real stuff in them. It's not hard. But what I find is when and I've suffered from depression and anxiety since I was a small child. It's hereditary. And I've talked about before how I used to be on medication, but after my initiation, I haven't needed it, which is great. Although, like I said, I still have issues, but I don't need my daily medication anymore. I still have a little bit of depression. But the thing is, and what's so cool is when I do something with my hands. So that's why when I'm doing my day job, which I also love tremendously, because I'm creating, when I'm doing my day job and I get frustrated, I'll go and I'll process a few orders because that makes me feel good. Doing root work makes me feel good. And I'm sorry if I keep going out of camera here because, yes. So yes, I will be making room boxes and mini altars for occultists. We're just, I'm trying to fine tune my skills on it because I don't want to give people garbage. And I went and bought a lot of examples. I'm going to start with Ouija boards. So even if you don't have a dollhouse, if you like the itty bitty baby Ouija board, you can even put it on a magnet, put it on a self-stick magnet and put it on your fridge. So I'll be starting with those. And I don't care how you feel about Ouija boards. Talk to somebody else. They have their purpose, and trained occultists know how to use them. So, and having just the board or a facsimile thereof is not going to cause any problems. People get a little too carried away and watch way too much television. So I'm trying to make sure that this is sitting right in my thing here, because if it's not, then I'll cut my board wrong, and then my bed won't be right. So the geometric part of my bed frame. So it's kind of hard because these are hand screws that secure, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing in a second, that secure the stick in the miter box, and they hold it ever so gently. So yeah, I have to move that over just a little bit. Like I said, a fraction of an inch in miniature is like sometimes several inches. Okay, yeah, the initiation really helped, and it really, really did. I didn't think it would. The spirits told me that it would. And, girl, really? No. Wait a minute. Did a bug bite you?
Mm-hmm.
Go show that to Mommy. You got 3 bug bites.
But Mommy said I don't want to come down here.
She wants you to come down here, or she's on her way down here?
I'm on the way down here.
Oh, okay. Well, upstairs, is where all the bug bite medicine and stuff is. So put a little cream on there to keep you from itchy. Does it itch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some Benadryl cream up in my drawer, up in my thing. You can tell Mommy to put some anti-itch cream on there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, tell her to put some cream on it. Tell her it's in my bathroom. So anyways, but like I said, that's not to say that I won't need medicine again, but the spirit said I won't, so I'm going to trust what they say. I didn't when I came home. I kept taking my meds, and my meds started doing a number on me. So I listened to my spirits, and I stopped taking them, and I haven't had them since. So now I'm making another little box. So I don't know if you guys are interested in this old dollhouse, but I wanted to just come, and I will post pictures of the bed once it's done. But I really just wanted to talk about creating, you know what, I have some acacia, but that's for pain relief. I think that she should go on up there, and Benadryl comes from a root somewhere. People are always like, I don't do regular medicine. Well, guess what? These people are not pulling medicine out the cracks of their asses. I'm very balanced when it comes to what I put in my body. I'm not one of those people that, man, look, I had some Crunch and Munch last night. I ain't even gonna lie. Some Crunch and Munch and some Bugles because I wanted them. That you can't eat that type of stuff all the time. You can't use certain types of medication all the time. But if not feeling well, and I'm telling y'all, I always tell people, hey, I get cancer, most likely I'm going to try chemo. I don't give a goddamn what anybody tells me. I'm going to go with whatever I believe is going to keep me here longer. And yes, I know chemo is poison, but I also know a lot of people that I am glad who are still here because of chemo. So I'm not going to sweat about that, and I don't judge people based on, what they have to take. I just think that's crazy. I just don't. I leave people's health choices to themselves. But when I can, I do try to use holistic and herbal medicine. I have an amazing cold tea that I make for myself when I have a cold, and other things. I strongly believe in herbal first, but there are some situations that call for, I probably put some white willow bark, but that's also something that we need to talk about as root workers and occultists. I'm just trying to get this thing to stay down and stay in place. The use of these products requires preparation. So if you want to use something like that and you have a bug bite, I should have sanded that one. I think I'm going to take that off. Even though I'm had it perfectly in place, I'm going to take it off and sand it. Come on. That type of stuff requires preparation, and sadly, I don't have any tincture prepared for itch relief, but you can make them. Every day I'm finding out new things that I can make with the herbs and roots that I have in my home. And, it's probably more convenient just to go out and buy it, but I'm cheap. So, I'm always going to look for different ways naturally. But did your mama, she put some cream on it for you?
No, I can't find it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll find it when I get done. Okay? And we'll put that on your face. Okay?
Okay.
Because them bugs ate you up, boo-boo. I have natural bug spray. I don't know. Yeah, well, don't have to put that on your face. I remember when your cousin sprayed your face with the natural bug spray. That was not nice. Natural does not mean, yeah, people do need to. Yeah, right? Your whole box of GMO cheese. Oh, definitely. So, so now I've got my other, rectangle, and I guess they're the same size, but optical illusion. So now I actually have to go back to YouTube, and I have the link to the bed that I'm making on YouTube on my wall if you guys are interested in how this is all going to come together. So you guys can go peep that, but I'm getting ready to sign off because I've done all the pieces that I know how to do. So I will talk to you all soon, but remember, do something with your hands if you feel bad, if somebody's hurt your feelings, if you're coming out of a bad relationship. Create something. Learn how to quilt. Learn how to sew. We're making curtains today for the house. Learn how to make something that is uniquely yours. Nobody can take it away from you, and help heal yourself in that way. I suggest it. That's why so many of us are making soap and jewelry and other products, because it's really helpful for your soul. Yes, writing counts. Of course, writing counts. Writing is probably one of the best ways to deal with how you feel about things. But what I can tell you about the more crafty stuff for depression, because writing sometimes can take you a little deeper. I know one of the reasons why I haven't written a book about my life is because I really don't want to be triggered by some of the stuff that I would, if I was being really honest, I'd have to write about. But the nice thing about this is that you can see right in front of you what you made. I'm trying to decide whether or not to paint this bed black or white. What do you guys think? Because all the other beds in the house are white, so I think I'm going to make it black. But this, I'm going to make a miniature cover and pillows out of this particular material here for the master bedroom. Or maybe I'll use this for the little girl's room and class it up in the master bedroom. You can find these at these stash samplers at your craft store, and they're perfect scale for minis. So I love those too. But yeah, right. That's when you find yourself going backwards. Sanaya, for real. Thank you. Okay. Oh, you mad? I'm sorry. Bye. Her feelings hurt. But what I find is, like I said, writing can kind of take you further down the rabbit hole. I like to make stuff I can sit and look at and be like, ooh, I did that. Because I do like writing too. This also keeps me off of my news feed because folks have been pissing me off, working my damn nerves. So I said, today I'm going to spend creating. I'm going to make shit. I'm going to be happy. And I'm going to have a great day. I hope you guys do too. Hope you enjoyed the little bit of stuff that I'm doing. I will post a finished version of the bed, providing I don't fuck it up, which happens. Allow yourself to make mistakes. In a few hours, we'll see what happens. I got to go to the dollar store and get some, what do you call those? Come on, y'all, help me. No, you wouldn't even know what I'm talking about. Magic erasers for the actual bed. Although I might just go to the craft store and get foam, because there is another thing to make a tufted mattress that I might do. There's all kinds of stuff I got going on. But anyways, you guys take care, and I will talk to you soon. Okay? Bye.